Hello everyone and welcome to Kdh Art Class. Today we are going to be working on our primary colors. And we did a color wheel last time and we learned how to do it with crayons and color pencils. And we started with the red, the yellow, and the blue. Those are your primary colors. You cannot make these colors. But once you have these colors, you can make these colors. And once you have these colors and these colors, well then you can start making all of these colors by mixing all of those together. So you can just keep going and going and going once you have those three colors: red, blue, and yellow. Your primary colors. It's easy to forget things, so I thought it'd be fun to just do a drawing using only our primary colors: red, yellow, and blue. And that's just going to help you remember that those are the primary colors. And then from there, we can make all kinds of fun colors. So this is our little color theory thing, and again, we're doing our primary color drawing. So that means you need something to draw with, and you need your three primary colors. They can be crayons, red, yellow, and blue. They could be colored pencils, red, yellow, and blue. And of course, they could be some variation of a marker, red, yellow, and blue. For those that have paint at home, you could even do it with the paint. And you need, that's right, red, yellow, and blue. So I'm going to be saying red, yellow, and blue so many times to make it stick in your brain that you're going to be like, please stop saying red, yellow, and blue. But I'm not. I'm going to keep saying red, yellow, and blue because it is very important to know that those are your primary colors. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to go ahead and start with our stem. So just to make it a little more interesting, I'm going to give it a little curve. And you can use your pencil. I switched to marker so that you can see it on my video. And then it's going to come out in, and right near the bottom it's going to come out again. I like making a little bit of a curve there, because it's a little bit thicker to hold the cap of the mushroom up, skinnier. And then of course, right before it gets into the ground, it opens up again. Alright, from there, I'm going to come up with a curved line. And I know I go fast sometimes, so you have the video recording. You can pause the video, rewind the video, or whatever you need to do to keep up. And then I'm going to jump over here to this side and come up on this side. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to not do a straight line, but a slightly curvy line, because that just seems more fun. And I'm going to make sure I connect with my mushroom. Alright, so that's the underside. So let's go ahead and I'm going to do I'm going to do a nice line to the side. You see it kind of curves up a little bit like a smile. And then underneath it, I'm going to do these nice little curved lines that are further apart, but then they bump into the stem. Further apart, and they bump into the stem. Further apart, but then come closer. It's kind of like the stem is the sun and these are the rays coming out. And now I'm going to kind of do the other side. So it's going to curve a little bit. Again, a little bit like a smile. And then it's going to be a little bit further apart and then come in towards the middle. A little further apart. And then come to the middle. A little further apart. And come in. And I think I can squeeze in one more right there. Alright, so we're going to continue with these. But this time I'm going to kind of change the direction. So this next one I'm going to curve it just a little bit the other way. It's a little bit rounded, almost rainbow-ish. Okay. And it's going to open up, again, like the rays of the sun, starting here, but then getting bigger and bigger. Bigger. And I am going to go ahead and start over on this side until looks like I can do one more until I meet up with that side. Very good. Now that is the underside of our mushroom, toadstool, whatever you're used to calling it. And then we need to do the top side. So it's not going to be perfectly like a rainbow. It's going to be more like a hat in a way, kind of a stocking hat. And there we go. I do like to follow my curvy line here, just so that it gives it a little detail there. The last thing I like to do is give it a little texture, how I think it's going to look like it feels. Since obviously it feels like a piece of paper in real life, I want it to look like it would feel different than a piece of paper. So I do these wiggly kind of scratchy lines on the bottom of the toadstool stem and at the top of the stem. Again, just to make it a little more interesting. Alright, so I figure we need to add 2 more toadstools so you have some choices. And we'll make it a little bit easier. This one over here is just going to be a little bit on the curvy side and boop, bump into my big one in the front. Then I'm going to again curve it up and down. Boop, boop, I bumped into it again. So now it looks like it's behind. So we worked on lines and space, and our wavy lines and curved lines are showing overlap, which is showing the space, how far away something is, how close something is. So this one looks closer than that one. And I'm going to go ahead and add my little stem. And this time I'm going to be touching it to my cap. And you notice I don't like to do perfectly straight lines. I like to wiggle them just a little bit, not too much. You don't want it to be too shaky looking. And again, my personal preference is to add my textural lines. And on the bottom, I'm just going to do what looks like a little smiley face. It jumps over the stem to the other side. And from there, I'm going to go from the top of my stem down to the bottom, because we're going to show these little ridges, and open it up bigger and a little bit bigger. And I could probably squeeze one right in there and a couple on this side. There. Diagonal it out, and diagonal, and diagonal. So I added a few lines. Must make it interesting. And then our last one, so we could do kind of a little one if we want. Give it a little wiggly line. Nice little pointy cap. Connect them. And do my little stem. Add my little texture lines. And then don't forget the underside, so we're going to come in and touch the stem. And come in and touch the stem on that side. And then we need to add our lines. Again, I start from the stem and come down. The top of the stem, that is, and come down. Whoops, and come out and down. It doesn't want to behave there. And I could probably get about one or two more over here. So 2. And you always need to put your ground. Where is it? They shouldn't be floating on your paper. It drives us art teachers crazy. So I'm going to put a little bit of a line in between, jump over, and fall off the paper. And then it's got to jump over. Ooh, I could probably get just the tiniest little line there. Jump over, and go till I fall off. It depends on how close or far away your mushrooms are as to how many of these lines you could squeeze in. But now our mushrooms are on the ground. Yay, they're not floating in space. And now for the fun part. We get to decorate and color them. So you have the freedom to decorate and color them any way you want. We have practiced lines, lots and lots of lines. But you could do polka dots, and you can do stripes. You can do any variation of it. But you are only allowed to use 3 colors to color it. Red, yellow, and blue. That's right, I said them again. The red, the yellow, and the blue. And you should be able to say red, yellow, and blue with me by now, because it is just bothering your brain. You've heard it so many times. Please don't let Miss Howard say it again. Too late. Red, yellow, blue. Those are your primary colors, the most important colors. I tell my students, if you have the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, and you get some white and black for paint, so those 5 colors, the 3 primary, white and black, you can make pretty much every color out there. It's amazing. So that's why these primary colors, say them with me, red, yellow, and blue, are so important. Okay, back to decorating. I want you to use your imagination. So I'm going to go kind of fast here because I really don't want you copying me, because it's not about my work, it's about your work. At this point, it's all about your expression, however you want to create your mushrooms and decorate them. So I want you to not quickly, but you'll probably have to put my video on pause, as I intend to finish very quickly again. It is not for you to copy me exactly. It's just so that you have some ideas of your own. And you can tell I'm having difficulties talking to you because I'm already letting my brain come up with all kinds of lines, zigzag, wavy, and the such, to fill in those empty spaces on my mushroom. Alright, don't go too small, don't go too crazy. When you have finished your lines, you can go ahead and press play on the video. I'm going to keep going. So if you need to pause it while you finish your lines, you go right ahead. Again, anything can go. Polka dots, stripes, zigzags, wavy lines. We've practiced them all. You could even throw in some loopy ones and some crazy ones, but remember, you have to color with red, yellow, and blue to make your picture. I am going to go ahead and start with mine. I like using the colored pencils. The colored pencils allow me to go darker in areas and lighter. So yes, I'm only using red, yellow, and blue. Ha ha ha, you thought I was done saying it. I wasn't. I want you to have nightmares about it. Actually, happy dreams. How can art dreams be bad? You can do it darker and lighter. As you're going around, you can create patterns. Patterns that repeat themselves. I tend to like patterns, but you can do it anyway. No, you cannot do rainbow yet, because you're only doing red, yellow, and blue for your coloring. Now, if you don't want to color it in, but instead you want to do a bunch of red stripes to fill in the space, that would be so next level awesome, because we did practice all those lines. You could do something like that, but I do want you to make sure you're using red, yellow, and blue for your coloring. You are challenged with not doing the whole thing colored red. Nope. When you get to a line, stop and change the color or the look of that color. Fill in each section nicely. Alright, so maybe I'm going to do yellow. All around. See if we can even see this. I have to keep checking my computer, because what I see on my paper does look differently than what you see on the computer screen. So I keep looking, make sure I'm still on the computer screen and my colors are still working. Okay, and for fun, ooh, I might even want to color a little blue on this side. Again, you get to color it any way you want, but you can only use, say it with me, primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. Red, yellow, and blue, your primary colors. And again, making it interesting and fun, not just one red toadstool next to a yellow toadstool, next to a blue toad. That would be boring. Now if you switched up and it's all blue, but there's blue polka dots in one of the little sections and blue stripes in the other section, that would be kind of cool. Speaking of which, go ahead and change colors here. I have not used, or I want to use the yellow next to the red and the blue. I don't want to use my yellow next to yellow. Okay. And then it would be fun to And do some blue stripes. And this is where your lines can create a more interesting picture. Even though I'm still using blue instead of just coloring it. I'm going to go ahead and change it up with some lines. When they go closer together, the color becomes darker, more interesting. I think I need a few more lines in this one. Good. Should probably have a few more in these spots. You can tell I'm in a rush. Shame on me. But I don't want you spending your whole time looking at me. You should be coloring. Alright, feel free to finish coloring your picture using only red, yellow, and blue, which are called, what colors? The primary colors. Whoop whoop! Alright, you guys have a great time. Enjoy your primary colored picture. And remember, your primary colors will always be red, yellow, and blue. Goodbye.